The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran include the IRIA, the IRGC and the Law Enforcement Force. These forces total about 545,000 active personnel. All branches of armed forces fall under the command of General Headquarters of Armed Forces. The Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces Logistics is responsible for planning, logistics and funding of the armed forces and is not involved with, in the field, military operational command. Despite lacking the modern sophisticated military equipment its U.S. allied neighbors have, Iran's military has been described as the Middle East's most powerful military force by retired U.S. General John Abizade. History. When the Pahlavi dynasty took power in 1925, following years of war with Russia, the standing Persian army was almost non-existent. The new king Reza Shah Pahlavi was quick to develop a new military. In part, this involved sending hundreds of officers to European and American military academies. It also involved having foreigners retrain the existing army within Iran. In this gap the Iranian Air Force was established and the foundation for a new navy was laid. Britain and the Soviet Union invaded Iran in 1941 in order to secure the area from German interventions. Following World War II, 1,500 Iranian troops supported the Sultan of Oman against the Dhofar rebellion from 1962 to 1975. In 1971, Iranian forces besieged Abu Musa and the Tunb Islands. Before the Islamic Revolution of 1979, Iran contributed to United Nations peacekeeping operations. Iran joined ONUC in the Congo in the 1960s, and 10 years later, Iranian troops joined UNDOF on the Golan Heights. With the Iranian Revolution in 1979, deteriorating relations with the United States resulted in international sanctions led by the USA, including an arms embargo being imposed on Iran. Revolutionary Iran was taken by surprise by the Iraqi invasion that began the Iran-Iraq War of 1980 to 1988. During this conflict, there were several confrontations with the United States. From 1987, the United States Central Command sought to stop Iranian mine-laying vessels from blocking the international sea lanes through the Persian Gulf in Operation Prime Chance. The operation lasted until 1989. On April 18, 1988, the U.S. retaliated for the Iranian mining of the Samuel B. Roberts in Operation Praying Mantis. Simultaneously, the Iranian armed forces had to learn to maintain and keep operational their large stocks of U.S.-built equipment and weaponry without outside help due to American sanctions, reaching back on equipment purchased from the USA. In the 1970s, the Iranians began establishing their own armaments industry. Their efforts in this remained largely unrecognized internationally. Until recently, however, Iran was able to obtain limited amounts of American-made armaments. When it was able to buy American spare parts and weaponry for its armed forces, during the Iran-Contra affair. At first, deliveries came via Israel and later, from the USA. The Iranian government established a 5-year rearmament program in 1989 to replace worn-out weaponry from the Iran-Iraq War. Iran spent $10 billion between 1989 and 1992 on arms. Iran ordered weapons designed to prevent other naval vessels from accessing the sea, including Marines and long-range Soviet planes capable of attacking aircraft carriers. A former military-associated police force, the Iranian Gendarmerie, was merged with the National Police and Revolutionary Committees in 1990. In 1991, the Iranian armed forces received a number of Iraqi aircraft fleeing from the Persian Gulf War of that year, most of which were incorporated into the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force. From 2003, there have been repeated U.S. and British allegations that Iranian forces have been covertly involved in the Iraq War. In 2007, Iranian Revolutionary Guard forces also took prisoner Royal Navy personnel when a boarding party from HMS Cornwall was seized in the waters between Iran and Iraq, in the Persian Gulf. The country's military budget is the lowest per capita in the Persian Gulf region besides the UAE. Since 1979, there are no foreign military bases present in Iran. According to Article 146 of the Iranian Constitution, the establishment of any foreign military base in the country is forbidden, even for peaceful purposes. Commanders: Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Brigadier General Hossein D. Hayyan, Major General Said Hassan Firuzabadi, Major General Yahya Rahim Safavi. Islamic Republic of Iran Army Major General Atarollah Salah, Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Vashtiani, Brigadier General Abdul Rahim Asavi, Brigadier General Ahmad Reza Pordastan, Brigadier General Hassan Shah Safer, Brigadier General Fazad Esmaili, Rear Admiral Habibullah Sayyara, IRGC Major General Muhammad Ali Jafari, Brigadier General Hossein Salami, Brigadier General Muhammad Pakvar, Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, Rear Admiral Ali Fadavi, Major General Qasem Soleimani, Brigadier General Muhammad Reza Naqdi. Law Enforcement Force Brigadier General Hossein Ashtari. Structure: the Iranian Armed Forces consist of the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, Islamic Republic of Iran Navy, Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force, and the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Defense Force. The regular armed forces have an estimated 425,000 personnel. The Islamic Republic of Iran Army, 350,000 personnel. The Islamic Republic of Iran Navy, 18,000 personnel. And the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force, 52,000 airmen. Islamic Republic of Iran Air Defense Force is a branch split off from the IRIAF. The Army of the Guardians of the Islamic Revolution, or Revolutionary Guards, has an estimated 120,000 personnel in 5 branches: its own Navy, Aerospace Force, and Ground Forces, and the Quds Force. The Basij is a paramilitary volunteer force controlled by the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. Its membership is a matter of controversy. Iranian sources claim a membership of 12.6 million, including women, of which perhaps 3 million are combat-capable. There are a claimed 2,500 battalions, of which some are full-time personnel. GlobalSecurity.org quotes a 2005 study by the Center for Strategic and International Studies estimating 90,000 active-duty full-time uniformed members, 300,000 reservists, and a total of 11 million men that can be mobilized if need be. It has been reported that Iran is one of the 5 countries having a cyber army capable of conducting cyber warfare operations. It has also been reported that Iran has immensely increased its cyber warfare capability since the post-presidential election unrest. Furthermore, China has accused United States of having initiated a cyber war against Iran, through sites such as Twitter and YouTube, and employing a hacker brigade for the purpose of fomenting unrest in Iran. It has also been reported in early 2010 that 2 new garrisons for cyber warfare have been established at Zanjan and Isfahan. Budget: Iran's 2007 defense budget was estimated to be $11.096 billion by SIPRI, per capita or percentage of GDP. This was a lower figure than for other Persian Gulf states. Defense industry: under the last Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, Iran's military industry was limited to assembly of foreign weapons. In the assembly lines that were put up by American firms, such as Bell, Litton and Northrop, Iranian workers put together a variety of helicopters, aircraft-guided missiles, electronic components and tanks. In 1973 the Iran Electronics Industries was established. The company was set up in a first attempt to organize the assembly and repair of foreign-delivered weapons. The Iranian Defense Industries Organization was the first to succeed in taking a step into what could be called a military industry by reverse engineering Soviet RPG-7, BM-21, and SAM-7 missiles in 1979. Nevertheless, most of Iran's weapons before the Islamic Revolution were imported from the United States and Europe. Between 1971 and 1975, the Shah went on a buying spree, ordering $8 billion in weapons from the United States alone. This alarmed the United States Congress, which strengthened a 1968 law on arms exports in 1976 and renamed it the Arms Export Control Act. Still, the United States continued to sell large amounts of weapons to Iran until the 1979 Islamic Revolution. After the Islamic Revolution, Iran found itself severely isolated and lacking technological expertise. Because of economic sanctions and a weapons embargo put on Iran by the United States, the Islamic Revolutionary Guards were put in charge of creating what is today known as the Iranian military industry. Under their command, Iran's military industry was enormously expanded, and with the Ministry of Defense pouring investment into the missile industry, Iran soon accumulated a vast arsenal of missiles. Since 1992, it also claiming has produced its own tanks, armored personnel carriers, radar systems, guided missiles, marines, military vessels and fighter planes. Iran is also producing its own submarines. In recent years, official announcements have highlighted the development of weapons such as the Fajr-3, Hudkofser, Fateh 110, SHAHAB-3 missile systems and a variety of unmanned aerial vehicles, at least one of which Israel claims has been used to spy on its territory. In 2006, an Iranian UAV acquired and allegedly tracked the American aircraft carrier Ronald Reagan for 25 minutes without being detected, before returning safely to its base. On November 2, 2012, Iran's Brigadier General Hassan Saifi reported that the Iranian army had achieved self-sufficiency in producing military equipment, and that the abilities of Iranian scientists have enabled the country to make significant progress in this field. He was quoted saying, "Unlike Western countries which hide their new weapons and munitions from the Islamic Republic of Iran's army is not afraid of displaying its latest military achievements, and all countries must become aware of Iran's progress in producing weaponry." UAV program. Iran has produced several domestically developed unmanned aerial vehicle, which can be used for reconnaissance and combat operations. Iran has also downed, captured and later reverse-engineered US and Israeli drones. Ballistic missile program. On November 2, 2006, Iran fired unarmed missiles to begin 10 days of military simulations. Iranian state television reported dozens of missiles were fired, including SHAHAB-2 and SHAHAB-3 missiles. The missiles had ranges from 300 kilometers to up to 2,000 kilometers. Iranian experts have made some changes to SHAHAB-3 missiles, installing cluster warheads in them with the capacity to carry 1,400 bombs. These launches came after some United States-led military exercises in the Persian Gulf on October 30, 2006, meant to train for blocking the transport of weapons of mass destruction. Iran is also believed to have started the development of an ICBM missile project, known as GHADR-110, with a range of 3,000 kilometers. The program is believed to be a parallel of the advancement of a satellite launcher named Iris. Iran also dedicated underground ballistic missile programs weapons of mass destruction. Iran ratified the Chemical Weapons Convention in 1997. Iranian troops and civilians suffered tens of thousands of casualties from Iraqi chemical weapons during the 1980–88 Iran-Iraq War. As a result, Iran has publicly stood against the use of chemical weapons. making numerous negative comments in international forums against Iraq's use of such weapons. Even today, more than 24 years after the end of the Iran-Iraq War, about 30,000 Iranians are still suffering and dying from the effects of chemical weapons employed by Iraq during the war. The need to manage the treatment of such a large number of casualties has placed Iran's medical specialists in the forefront of the development of effective treatment regimens for chemical weapons victims, and particularly for those suffering from exposure to mustard gas. Iran ratified the Biological Weapons Convention in 1973. Iran has advanced biological and genetic engineering research programs supporting an industry that produces vaccines for both domestic use and export military aid. In 2013, Iran was reported to supply money, equipment, technological expertise and unmanned aerial vehicles to Syria's government and Lebanon's Hezbollah during the Syrian civil war, and to the Iraqi government, Iraqi Shia militia, and Peshmerga during war on ISIL.